Aibobo, bon combat. Aibobo, bon combat. Aibobo. In this respect now, because one of the traps that we get put in, Uncle, is the fact that we are in, and we don't want to downplay or the current situation in Haiti at the moment. Yeah, we don't want to, act as though the nation as it stands and the people on the ground are not experiencing a crisis. Yeah. But what happens is they're able to use that scenario, and because they have near unlimited resources to come in, as you were saying, and dictate terms. Yeah. And because we want to see an alleviation of the current circumstances, we accept the terms just for a bit of respite, just for a bit of peace, and so on. Yeah. And I'd like for your perspective on that, because what we also heard yesterday was, as they usually do, this talk about election. Yeah. And transitional this and whatnot, and panel of this and interim, so on and so forth, in respect of returning to democracy, yes, and having elections. Yeah. Is this the way that we should be going, Uncle? Is this what we should be promoting as the solution to the quote-unquote gang problem that is happening in Haiti at the moment?
The Haitian people, the African family, to accept that solution is to accept a plate of food with turds in it, alongside the lettuce, the tomato, except that they're well garnished and decorated. These people are really twisting, turning the screws on the people of Haiti, but also on us, obviously, on the hearts and minds of us out here, because we want this. My own family would welcome a multinational force in Haiti, because you don't want to live, behind barricaded streets.
Yes.
Many would, and so we are being blackmailed and arm twisted. So really, we're being. So the one reason we're having this discussion is to see past the muck. And so, but we need to challenge these people back, because at the very least, this panel that they're putting together, it needs to be rejected.
Right.
And then
this is the CARICOM panel.
Yes. Carry who, what on my back? Haiti has been pointed out so many times. Professor Pierre put it. Haiti is the most populous country in the Caribbean. Haiti's population outstrips all the population of CARICOM put together.
Yeah.
And yet CARICOM spits on Haiti, spat on Haiti since its inception.
Yes.
Every once in a while, one of the leaders of CARICOM steps forward to try to bring Haiti into the fold, but most of the Haiti is being pushed. CARICOM is kind of a microcosm of the African Union. That reality that is disserving Africa. CARICOM is disserving the Caribbean region.
Yes, sir.
The Caribbean people.
Yes, sir.
And yes, we have these entities. We have them. Then we should, what we may want to do is try to take control of them if we can't eradicate them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If they're calling themselves ours, then let's make them ours for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because they're made up of African people, but these so-called leaders that we accept, we give allegiance to, we give respect to, many of them are not worthy of our respect, of our trust, in the lives of our families in the hands of these so-called leaders. Why put your life in the hands of somebody who's clearly working against you and who's not carrying out your mandate?
Yes.
And so if they try to cow us, to try to bully us with soldiery and weapons and heavy-handed police, well, in Creole we say "fair coupe fair," iron cuts iron. They may, yes, they may have, they're human beings just like us, and if they can group them together, we outnumber these people. We outnumber them. They count on our law abidingness. They count on our decency as human beings. But you know, we fair could be fair, because somehow, if we don't see the threat to our very families, because when somebody's coming for one of ours, then they get to see who we are. They are coming for us. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And we shouldn't hide that from ourselves.
Yes,
and
sir.
they need to know the line, stops here.
Yes. What you're saying is important, Uncle, because and even throughout in previous conversations that we've had, and a lot of it is coming from a very sincere place. We don't want to see our people being shot. We're hearing about sexual violence being perpetrated against our sisters on the ground in Haiti, and we want that to stop immediately. Yes, but then when the most viable quote unquote solution is coming from known colonizers and terrorists and brutalizers, it's like that rock and a hard place situation. And it's important that we hear it coming from sons and daughters of the soil, because our resolve needs to strengthen. if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, in the sense of that we feel strong enough to raise that voice against this occupation, no matter what problems it's going to claim to solve in the short term. In the long term, we understand that it's not going to be to our benefit.
Bring greater. It really entrench these forces in Haiti, in the Caribbean, and they'll know they can just do with us as they will, and we need to stop. This is a pivotal time, not just for Haiti, but for the whole Caribbean.
Yes, sir.
African people.
That is a critical point, because in the sense of the fact that Haiti is the most populous nation in the quote unquote CARICOM at the moment, and a strong Haiti changes the nature of CARICOM. In just one fell swoop. A strong Haiti that is progressive and revolutionary changes the constitution of the Caribbean region in one fell swoop. And so that's the reason why they have to ensure that the other nations are not supporting anything progressive as it relates to Haiti. And also, even many of the people, and we're going to be speaking on this more in terms of the migrants of Haiti to other islands and how that is being dealt with. But that's for another show. But in the sense of the fact that if you can sustain a negative perception in the minds of our people, in a significant enough population of our people throughout the region, it helps to keep Haiti in that position, because the governments in Jamaica and Trinidad and Barbados and Suriname and Dominica and St. Lucia are not going to put enough pressure the people are not going to put enough pressure on the governments to treat Haiti correctly and to do right by Haiti. And that is one of the major things that I want to get across in every one of these conversations. We as African people around the world, particularly those Africans who are from the Caribbean, need to raise our voice in support of Haiti and the people of Haiti and be strong for them. Yes.